morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We're here again at Honestly Speaking, man. Podcast / show / therapy session / conversationalist. Man, we're happy that y'all continue to join us, man, on this journey we call life here. Man, what you want to talk about, bro? Let's get straight to it. How are you feeling right now?
Just
You
go
alright?
to the new year.
New year?
Just reflect on the previous year and kind of just assess our goals moving forward in this year and just what we want to.
What you want to see, right?
Accomplish. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
I feel pretty good though. I feel now that the birthday is over.
Oh yeah, happy birthday!
I appreciate it, man. Birthday was on the 1st.
On the 1st,
January 1st.
New Year's baby.
1995. I am 28 now. 28. This year is going to be just the year of wisdom.
I seen on your Instagram note, you said, "All right, time to get back locked in."
Right.
Time to get back locked in.
Let's get back locked in.
I felt that. Bro.
I had enough fun. Now, I've been off work for a little while.
Yeah.
Now it's like
it's time to get back to it.
Now it's time to.
Yep.
And I feel it. I feel like I've been away from working.
I swear, as soon as I seen it, I said, yes. I was like, exactly. Like, that's how I felt. I was like, yeah, that's time to get back to it.
Now it's time to get back dirty.
To get my account back up.
Right, now it's time to, man.
Time to get the money back up.
Get back in the trenches and
man.
Get back working, man, and get back, and just get back full of, in the spirit of wisdom and learning and just being a sponge, man, just getting back locked in, man, back to the businesses, back to the videos, back to the Real Righteous, the brand, back pushing, honestly speaking. It's just trying to get to it, man.
So yeah, man, it's gonna be a great adventure. It's 2023, man. I really believe that it's gonna be the do or die or ride or die season. Just for everything that we've been going through and accomplishing, just with us together and individually, and just for anybody that's been really fighting to accomplish anything in life or trying to obtain a goal or grow. I think this is like the proof in the pudding year for all of us who are trying to accomplish great things, like the things that we talked about, the things that we said we were going to do. I think this is going to be the year of a vision to really see, like, are we about what we're talking about? You know what I mean? Like, are we playing around? I think that's gonna be like it's gonna be a revealing year. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel, like, to me at least. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be something that's gonna be pinpointing to like all the things that we're talking about. Are we gonna take that walk? Are we just talking?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I know for me and you that we definitely have that the conversations of just like, like, hey, it's time to turn it up.
Time to buckle down.
Yeah.
I think, man, I think the beauty of the journey is that it's like slow and steady wins the race. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I'm not trying to compete with nobody.
Right.
I'm just trying to compete with myself. From last year to, the previous year, I'm committed to the process. So, like I know every day I'm not gonna feel my best, or maybe I might not even do my best, but I'm gonna put my best foot forward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And try to put myself in the best possible position. Because I know I'm not perfect. Like, I know I'm human. So, some days I don't feel like doing nothing.
Right.
And I might not do anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just me being real. I'm not gonna come up on this show and be hating myself to be something like I'm just this crazy workhorse. Like, no. There's days where I'll be like, man, I don't feel like doing nothing.
Yeah, and a part of good healthy living is rest stuff. Like, you gotta rest at some point in time in your journey. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be full force every day. Like,
365 is like, man,
yeah, that's not
the millionaires, they enjoy the money they make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For real.
They enjoy it because they know how hard they worked and how far they've come. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, you got all this money now, you man go get borrow money and buy assets and they make that return and now it's like, man, then they say they buy luxury stuff.
The ultimate goal, I believe, to real genuine wealth are two things. Land, for one, like owning land, and then two, being able to make money while you're asleep.
Passive.
If you can make money while you're in your bed, just going to sleep, that's when I think like, okay, yeah, that's where the real snowball effect of real like genuine wealth comes into play. Where you could be like, okay, now I can make the moves I need to make. I can do what I need to do, set up what I need to set up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then having land, you know what I'm saying? Being able to, kind of basically leverage your land and use that for rental properties or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Renting out what you own, you know what I mean? Like, to me, those are like the two greatest forms of like real wealth to where you can pass down, what you acquire to your family or whoever else is important to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the real things. I think that's where like really my mindset has been shaped to be like going in that direction. Just because, man, we have a big family for one, like, and it'd just be nice to like. I heard this comment from somebody. He was like, if you lived your life and you don't leave anything behind but debt, he was like, you're selfish.
I agree. Yeah.
He was like, if you live your life full to complete, or however long you live it, and you don't acquire anything to leave behind to the people who are connected to you, your family or friends or anything, he was like, you lived a selfish life. He was like, and you should be ashamed in some regard that if you don't have proper things in place like that. And ever since I heard that, I had like started like really taking steps to like, you know what I mean? Like really like, okay, like let's build some things up. You know what I'm saying? So that, and especially me having my daughter, man, like it just became way more important. Like even with that, you know what I'm saying? Like I know for you building the brand, the Real Righteous brand has been a challenge for you, but it's also been some excitement just from you telling me what are you putting into place or trying to set up or building or actually have right now that you're looking to leave behind? Like what's your mission statement to legacy that you have? Let me say it that way.
Man, I'm very excited in this coming year. Just in terms of just like the legitimacy that I formed, you know what I'm saying? Like, really obtaining my LLC on my own, but like really having a business plan down, like to where it's like all I really need is to just get my resources together and you know what I'm saying, get all that. And once my resources and everything is aligned,
the play,
it's like, bruh, the business is already planned out. Like, no joke, 60 pages.
Yeah.
Like this is a legitimate document. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, once my resources are set, it's like, bro, the sky's the limit. Because when I first started the brand,
you failed to plan. You planned to fail.
I didn't have a plan at all.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing, and I still don't really know. I know a little more than I did when I first started, of course. But when I first started, I was like wet behind the ears. Like, it was like it was crazy. And I was like, man, my design was garbage. You know what I'm saying? But I had an idea and a vision, and I still do. And it's like, and so it's like, okay.
Has it changed as you like go along?
It's crazy.
Or is it like still like
the vision? Is always been the same.
Nice.
Like, and I feel God kind of like he's because I was going through a phase where I was trying to rebrand and revamp. Because I was like, oh well, it's not growing as fast as I think it should, and but this is when I was like really, when I was too connected to the financial aspect of it,
right?
Because of how much I'm putting into it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I was very young-minded and immature when I first started out.
Because I have entrepreneur is like
you playing the long game.
Exactly.
Playing the long game. So my approach now, man, I'm excited, like I'm ecstatic for the brand.
That's good though,
because I know. Like now, like how far I've come, but back then it was it was stressful too, because I'm still doing it by myself, but it was more so stressful having people who I thought could see the vision, but didn't really see the vision, so they weren't really putting in as much work as me. And so that was kind of more like damaging too.
That'd be the most challenging.
Because you putting in all the financial resources, and it's just people they get along for the ride.
They just pull them.
You know what I'm saying? But it was crazy because I had a lot of motion set up kind of back then. So I lost a lot of momentum. Yeah. I'm be real with you. I lost a lot of traction and momentum. Like I had people hitting me up to do pop-up shows, and I was just like, man, I ain't ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not ready right now. Like, but I was real though. Like,
for real.
I was like, if I would have tried to go out there and go set something up last minute, and I would embarrass myself.
That's a big deal when you have to like really assess that in your mind and be like, yo, yeah, I'm not, because at the end of the day, it's like you want to have quality work, quality effort. You know what I'm saying?
But people they was fooling with me. Like the love was there, the traction, the momentum, and this was when I was coming from playing the LMC. So a lot of people at school was messing with it.
Yeah,
they was purchasing, but then it was like I didn't have my resources. Like I didn't financially, I couldn't fully support the brand. Like I reached out. I'm talking about organically. I'm all the followers, social media. I'm running the page. I had a Twitter at the time. I'm doing all this by myself, and then
exhausted.
I must have come into a dude that played in the minor leagues, baseball. And I just reached out to him, and lo and behold, I think he ended up following the page or something like that.
Yeah.
And I had instantly 5-10 minutes later DM'd him, sent that nice little sent a nice, detailed message of, the brand, and he was like, oh man, I appreciate the follow, appreciate the love, I love your message, and that's why I say, bro, the vision, everything changed.
Right?
It's always centered around God and His Word. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I couldn't work with him because I couldn't pay him. We was gonna do like a promotional kind of
like an ambassador type thing. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And he had a friend that was heavy in graphic design, and kind of videography stuff. And he did some dope little. He did a quick nice little video setup, but then it was after a few weeks, I was like, oh bro, I can't really meet the agreement right now. It was just, so I know I lost a lot of traction, momentum. So now
that's a whole part of the process of really being an entrepreneur, man. It's wins and losses. You know what I'm saying? You got to take both of them equally. You can't try to gauge one more than the other as if you being successful is not just because you feel like you winning all the time. Success is where you can take the wins and the losses equally and allow you to gauge, because to me, what I've kind of gotten from, entrepreneur lifestyle is knowledge is your currency. When it comes to just having a journey of building something up, building a brand up, or building a business up, knowledge is the real true currency between you, how you make yourself out to be, and then how you end up becoming. You know what I'm saying? I think the real thing is acquiring the right knowledge and then applying that, which ultimately turns into wisdom, just down the road. But that takes time. You have to really, like you said, it's a long game. You gotta really stick in and press in to the moments, even when you do have the moments, like you say, you lose momentum and you don't really feel like, you know what I'm saying, it's enough or anything.
It hurt too. I lost a lot. And then you gotta think too, all that money invested. I was doing all this marketing stuff and didn't know what I was doing. I'm making brochures and business cards and sending them to people. It's bro, I can't get that money back.
Yeah, but
so now, totally disconnected myself from the financial perception.
Right. Because really what you did,
all the way out.
Really what you're doing, what you did was you still got the reward from the money that you invested. It's just not how you thought.
But I love that I went
you know what I'm saying? I
love that I went back because now I see.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Knowledge is the real currency.
I see how I see now how I don't, how I shouldn't be, how I can't be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, there's gonna be seasons of
But that's the thing. You would have never learned that way if you hadn't took those initial steps. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's where I commend you on it too. Like, you know, and that's for anybody that's trying to do or build anything, man. Just start. You know what I'm saying? Just start. Fail fast.
You never know, man. What can happen, man?
Fail at a fast pace. Like, don't rush yourself, but start and go through the things so that you can start experiencing those certain changes and advantages that literally come through just experience. Nobody can have conversations with you about it. Some things you just have to do. Yeah. That's what I'm learning in life. It's like, man, you say you want to do this and all that. Well, it takes discipline. It takes consistency. And you have to do those things in order to reap the reward of what you're trying to accomplish or what you're trying to acquire. And I know this year, I've been seeing a lot of people that they always start off fresh. You know, they always start off with, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and that. We was actually our sermon, our New Year's sermon was let it go. What's some things you're gonna let go of? You know what I'm saying? In this new year, some things, some habits, some people, some environments, whatever. Like, but I think one detailed thing is that it has to be the two things that, to me, that's the most important in any aspect of whatever you're trying to do is discipline and consistency. If you don't have those two things, it's going to be real hard to do anything. I know one thing is for sure, you're disciplined and you're consistent in something. It may not be good for you, but if you really pay attention to it, there are certain things that we do over and over and over and over again. It may come from comfort. It may come from liking. It may come from how we grew up, or the ways we learned how to live life. You know what I'm saying? But you're disciplined and you're consistent at something. It's our job as people living our lives, our individual lives, to see what we are disciplined and consistent on, and not undisciplined and inconsistent on, and shape those barriers to the right things, to the things that we really want to see in our life. Like, but if you a fast food eater and you always eat fast food, you are disciplined and consistent in eating fast food. It might not be good for you, but there's a consistency and a level to it that you bring to the table that allows you to continue to do that thing. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with better habits, with things that we want to do on the better back end. It's like, man, the more that you put into play, the consistency, the learning, you gotta be consistent in learning. And sometimes where I would just be like, man, I just want to do it this way, and they're like, nah, like you gotta learn how to do it right. Because if you don't, you're just going to continue to do it wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
we gotta get out of our own way. That's the biggest thing. Like, we gotta fall in love with the process, but during the process, we gotta always find ways to like grow through it. Like, it can't, because I learned, like, when I was doing it, I was like, okay, cool. It's like I keep doing it and trying to do it a certain way. Like when I was trying to do the revamp thing, it's like, yeah. I was like, bro, it's not even. When I was trying to go switch and change my name and do all this revamping, and then I was this guy like, it's keep it how it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like there's no reason to change it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no reason to mess it up and start trying to put your effect on it. And that's the lesson that I really learned, was that I had to really get steadfast and push in and press into God, because like my mindset wavered a lot because I was a lot younger at the time, so I was expecting things to happen my way. And so that's when I really started to mature. I think my maturity came from trying to run a business. Because it made me grow up. Like, really, it's not going to happen how you want it.
Yeah. I think mine was, my maturity came from at a fast rate, from like multiple numbers of things. One was like being the oldest, like just being the oldest in siblings wise, and then another form of my maturity came from sports. Just carrying yourself a certain way, like, you know what I mean, like, and then ultimately my maturity came from like having a child. Like, you know what I'm saying, like
that'll do it,
right?
That'll do it.
Like I was like, yo, like, like through the relationship that I had, with certain people, the relationship that I valued the most was the one I have with God. Like, you know what I mean? So I think God was just showing me through these different stages, like, you know, like just kind of like, hey, yeah, like there's gonna be things that are becoming more important that you gotta pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? Not only pay attention to, you have to cultivate. You have to like invest time and effort into seeing, you know, these certain things grow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and, and
I think that's very, very key though.
Yeah,
that
like,
time and that effort into what you can.
Yeah, like
you gotta water these seeds daily, man.
I think that was the biggest part of maturing. Was like, okay, yeah, I have to put time and effort into these certain areas in my life in order for me to mature. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta be more patient. You know what I'm saying? But through patience, there's a lot more that clarity that you get when you just kind of take the time out, observe some things. Like, oh, I realize I haven't been doing the best here in this area, or I haven't been doing things right in this area. Or let me change about how I talk about this in this area.
Self-reflection, and it's such a beautiful thing. I just think life is just so beautiful, and this is why you can't be around a lot of people because there's too many different personalities.
Yeah, you can lose sight of that.
Too much information and misinformation.
Right.
As opposed to if I'm around like myself, easier to hear God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's easier to be kind of, one with my thoughts as opposed to all these different personalities, different people in my ear about different things.
And that's where the real work happens.
Yeah.
When you can set yourself aside like that. That's where the real beneficial work happens when you do that.
Like when you tell me like, we have conversations, you be like, man, like when I don't be at work or, with family, I'm just going on like these nice long hikes.
Yeah.
And I'm just in nature. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like, man, that's so profound because like, man, when I be going and walking the dogs, walking Spotty SJ, it's just like quiet, man. I can think.
And then that's where you know what, E, that's where I ask my questions. The questions that I have about myself, about life, or about what's going on in the world, that's where I be like, all right, God, like, what's going on here? Like,
that's why
I know, or that's where I could talk out the innate feeling of just being like who and what I am, and could talk that out with God in a way that's like, man, so therapeutic. Like, it's just like, man, if I've been prideful for a week or a month or a year, I can sit there and say like, God, I know I've been prideful and it's been blinding me. My pride has been blinding me, and I want to see clearly, but it's so hard to sometimes just get rid of my pride or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm able to voice that out to Him in a way that's like, I immediately, as I'm saying the words, I'm being changed, I'm being healed, I'm being renewed. Like, it's crazy. Like, you can literally feel it sometime in yourself. Like, when like, oh, this is why I need to talk to Him. This is why I have to have these conversations with Him, because it's really reforming me as I really speak.
Yeah, I'm being built. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, like,
it's like I'm being rebuilt.
Right. As I'm talking about like as you're doing it.
Yeah.
Not it's like, oh, it's taking time, and like, even though some of the things do take time, like depending on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But there's some things, man, that they're like that. Like, you literally I'm talking about just literally,
because it's something like what we do or doing in that time when we're trying to talk to Him, it could be something that we're doing different. Like, if I haven't been on a walk and heck along,
absolutely,
and I go by myself, you know what I'm saying? Because our prayer time should be devotion, so it should be in our own time, in our own space.
Set aside,
included. You know what I'm saying? For everything and everyone.
Definitely.
So, like, I'll be like, man, sometimes I just like, I'll be in my car and I could just break down because I'm like, man, I just feel like God either speaking something profound to me or just God just working something out in my favor. And
and for me, it's like the moment I do that, I hear Him immediately. Mm-hmm. There's sometimes where I'll be like, man, I cannot hear God, and I realize what I'm doing. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm just around everything. Like, I'm just trying to catch up with everything. But the moment I'll be like, I'm about to just sit here, no TV, no music. I'm just about to sit here.
I'm not about to hear God going out partying every weekend,
right?
Music blasting and
right,
pounding my liver with alcohol,
right?
Like, I'm not, who am I here? I'm here a devil,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm altering my mind state go to a place
to
that's
fit in a certain environment.
I'm altering my mind to go to a place that's not real.
Right. And the process, which makes it so much beautiful, is the process. They look different because you're really doing the same thing when you're talking to God, but it's just it's just better for you.
The circumstances,
you're still right. You're still changing. You're still changing and altering your mind. It's just to how your mind should be, your environment should be, like how your health state should be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because who's to say that you're wrong for trying to get serious about your life? That's a key indicator on the people that you're hanging around or anything that's going on like that. The best way to test that scenario is get serious about yourself.
Right.
Get responsible about certain things.
Respect yourself.
Yeah. And then you'll see who's really for you and who's really not, or what's really for you and what's really not. Like certain careers that you taking place. Well, get serious about it, and then you'll see like, oh, like, well, this may not really be for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even still, but it's not saying that it has to, like, feel good. I want to be clear about that. It doesn't necessarily have to feel good, but get serious about it in a way to where you can see the benefits of you getting serious about it. Like, you know what I mean? It's certain things that may not you may feel like it's not for you, but it's working for you. It's working in you. You know what I mean? Like, so I think a key indicator is like really like pinpointing that. Like, hey, let me get serious about this thing. Let me respect, like you said, let me respect, the regard and entity that I am above all before I start, making decisions. For one, like when you start making those decisions that's just irrational or impulsive, and that's something like a lot of people we have to work on, like impulse decision making. Like just because you feel a certain type of way, you just make the decision based off of that. Or just because something didn't go your way, now you're going back and reverting to old ways because one thing didn't go your way, or a season's not going in your favor. Like it creates like an impulse in you, and then you start. I know for me, like one of my impulses I have to watch is like spending money, like having to feel like I gotta keep up with the fashion or time or whatever to spend money and be like, bro, I gotta. I didn't have a bad day. Let me go get me some shoes. I didn't have it like, and it'd be like you're going against the grain now. Like you're trying to build wealth to invest in assets, but you keep buying liabilities.
My impulse is spending money on food.
Oh man, that's another one.
Hey, when this video airs,
I like to
zoom in on my face. It's real.
For real.
When I tell you I will spend money on some food,
hey, facts, bro.
I'ma do it.
Facts, bro.
So
and I like to eat good, so we're buying quality,
and that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not gonna spend $10. And that's what's wrong with me because when I get hungry though,
right,
I'm spending $30.
Right, easy.
I need desserts.
Easy,
you know what I'm saying?
bro.
The one little combo, not gonna do that. I need two of them, and I need a dessert.
Yo, I feel you, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So if y'all see this video, all right, and then June, July hit, y'all better hold me accountable. Make sure and hit the comment. You better not be spending money on food like that.
Man, one conversation I had, man, somebody was like, man, I'm not eating fast food. None this year. No fast food. I was like, man, I support you in that. Miles was like, man, I'm done vaping. I was like, bro,
and that vaping stuff, man.
I said, bro, I said, I'm with you with it, bro. He called me. It was either yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. He was just like, man, am I supposed to feel like I just like need to scratch an itch at this point or whatever? He was like, is it just like, he was like, should I go like 10% or like 20% like not vaping? Or I was like, bro, I said, don't. I said, are there any vapes that you can see right now? He was like, I know where one is. I said, throw it away. Go to it, throw it away. I don't even look at a vape, bro. I was like, or give them away, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? But don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna just do it on Wednesday. It's like, nah, bro. Like
that's the good and beautiful part about just growth and self-reflection, because we can hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
If I hold myself accountable, and that's like we were saying, and it kind of goes into that realm of being real with yourself first. So then you're not shocked or super defensive or offended when someone tells you something. That's more than likely truthful.
On Sunday, on your birthday, I was having a conversation with Nezzy, bro. She said something that was so profound, bro. And I was like, that's what I've been saying for a while now. Like she was like, man, being a woman of God, she was like, this is hard work. She was like, this is hard.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
She was like, I really don't get it sometimes when people try to feel like they gotta be a certain way and act like what we doing not hard. And I'm like, bro, I felt that, bro. I felt that in my hammy, bro. Like, I swear, bro. I was like, man, I was telling her, I said, Nancy, this is the reason why me and my brother doing what we doing. I said, because the initial summary of everything that we do, that we're talking about, is being honest about where you are. Because until you do that, you're not going to be able to grow effectively or heal effectively.
You're going to be looking up. And life is so beautiful and precious, but we're going to be looking up and we're going to be wasting it.
Right.
If I'm 28 now and I'm just saying all these different things of what I need to be doing, man, I'm going to be 30, then I'm going to be 35, and you're going to keep looking up, and time is flying.
And the way the mindset works is like, you being 28, technically you are 30.
Yeah, bro.
That's how advanced the time is moving. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and I think, and that's why, bro, like, the conditioning, we need physical conditioning, we need mental conditioning.
Oh, bro, the thing is why you're being honest. You got to find out your why. You're not being honest to stay where you're at. You're being honest so that you can move on.
Right.
So it like you said, just acknowledging the fact of how hard or difficult something is. If you just make that the full picture, you'll stay there.
Yeah.
You'll stay right there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What we're talking about is being honest in a way that allows you to take steps.
That allows you to produce.
Exactly.
Fruit.
Be prosperous. Exactly. Like to experience a new level of hard, if I could say it that way. Like, there's certain things that's hard when you first start them, but they shouldn't be hard that like as time goes on.
In 6 months, it shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, it should be a little easier or not. I wouldn't say easier. You should be stronger.
And we should be practicing.
Because that's where the real thing happens. It's not necessarily the thing that's changing, it's you.
Yeah.
Like if I had a 50-pound weight right here, the weight's not changing. The weight gonna be 50 pounds today, tomorrow, the next day. What's changing is my level of endurance and strength to handle the 50-pound weight.
Yeah. That's dead on right there.
That's the same thing as our life situations. Our situations are not going to change. You're going to always have to be accountable. You're going to always have to pay bills. If you're a parent, you got to always take care of your children. Don't care how old they are. If anything you struggle with, loss, death, all these things, those situations are sickness. Those situations aren't changing. They're not going anywhere.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable, bro. Those things are not going anywhere. What is changing is us to deal with those things in spite of the non-change or in spite of the situation.
Yeah.
We become stronger. We become more of endurers. We become more prosperous. We become like, it won't be like, we always say this, but I don't think we really believe it. It won't be like this always.
Right.
Like but in that mindset, you have to realize those things. If you want to look at it as anything else, it's that 50-pound weight. That weight not gonna change.
Right.
Day by day. But you know what will never change? If I never pick up the weight, I won't experience the level of change in going through the process of becoming a stronger person if I never pick up the weight. I can't just stare at the 50-pound weight and be like, one day I'm gonna be able to pick you up.
Right.
One day I'm gonna pick you up one day.
Right.
I can't keep doing that. Mm-hmm. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is gonna help people that need to work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you can't just wish yourself healthier. Like, you can't. Right. You gotta actually do.
You gotta get up.
Yeah, you have to do it.
Put some work in. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't even matter how much amount of time it is. I always tell my brother this. If it's 1 minute different from what you would do at any other time, that 1 minute is greater than 30 hours. If you do something different for 1 minute, that is the greatest 60 seconds of your life. Because it's something different. I don't care how small the step is. If it's in a different direction, you better be celebrating. If it's not how you used to think, if it's not how you used to talk, I don't care if it's one conversation. I don't care if you writing down in a journal. I don't care if you reading a book or reading your word or whatever it is, or praying. If it's something, don't minimize your steps to progressing. Every step is a celebratory step because it's going in the different direction. It's not going with the status quo. It ain't doing the average, common, mediocre type way of living that we're taught by whatever systems and institutions that we've been in. We're taught to be average. We're not taught to be dreamers. We're not taught to be accomplishers. We're not taught to be endurers. We're taught to literally be lab rats from when you are born. So there's a when you learn something different that's putting you in a different mind space, man, celebrate over that thing. 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours, all those things. If it's different, bro, those are the things that you could put in place. And I don't know how much I could ever say this, man, because it's so true. Like, man, I've done something different. I was like, man, I'm just gonna start a little bit. I'm gonna start a little bit, just do it differently this way. You know what I'm saying? I look up, bro. It's been 3 hours and it went past. Like, I've literally just spent like three whole hours doing something that I was just like, at first I thought it was impossible at some like in some degree. Like, oh man, like, you know, I never. But that's what I'm saying. If you got something in your mind or you dreaming about something, you be going to sleep and dreaming about it, just start. Just start.
Yeah.
I don't care if it. My brother, he always been doing this. Well, I would say always been doing this since we've like acquired this new mindset. He tells me all the time, hey, bro, I just be on YouTube. I be on YouTube University.
I never was on YouTube
just trying to figure out,
because there's so much knowledge.
It's so much there, and everything sometimes is not for you, whatever. But that's how you sift and filter through. You got to look and see.
But generally, if you get on there and you type up what you're looking for, you generally gonna find an answer that's right in the right direction.
Use the algorithm.
Some knowledge you didn't have before.
Use the I would say like the scheming part of the algorithms to your benefit. What you look up is what your phone feeds you. So if you constantly looking up whatever, that's gonna come and hit your feeds. On any social network, the algorithm works and it learns you on what you search up. I remember we was having this conversation. He was like, "Yeah, bro, I deleted anything that wasn't talking about growth, God, wisdom,
or business." Yeah, if it wasn't pushing my knowledge
I unfollowed. I was like, bro, I'm like, that's where it's at because you're using the algorithm to your benefit. Now everything that when I scroll and pop up, it'd be like, man, you need to change, man.
Go on my Twitter. Go on my Twitter. It's formulated now because I'm retweeting so much about people thanking God.
Yeah.
That if you go on my Twitter right now, you're gonna find, hey, thank God for a life of the strength. Thank God. Or some scripture.
Right.
Because that's what I want to see on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's like formulating these things, man. Like we kind of just wanted to freestyle that today, man, just because of this new year coming up, man. Or anything that we really want. I think we're gonna title this one. What did we ask? Oh my God, what did we just ask? It was about having the. What do you want? What do you want? 2023. That, like, I feel like that's in this mindset, and I may have to go back. I'll go back and look at it over because we was talking about it when we first started. We was just like the mindset of having like something just immeasurable to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that, like, to me, bro, that is like the mindset to stay in because it's always going to keep us accountable for our decisions and like what we decide to do. And I feel like if you're like that, if you're a person like that, this world would be better. Like,
Yeah.
if you're a person that just be accountable for yourself first, nobody will have to tell you anything. Nobody will have to treat you any type of way because you're gonna self correct.
It's just a better way of living, not always
Oh man,
hanging on somebody else's coattails, trying to criticize them, critique them.
you're gonna become like an auto correct of yourself.
Critique yourself.
Yeah,
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
and I feel like that's the biggest thing, man. We wanted to put out on this episode 9.
Episode 9.
Nine?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So we gotta do something big for the 10th one. Maybe have a guest.
We might have to bring some people in.
Yeah, I was about to say we might have a
Bring
guest.
the audience in and kind of do like our first guest show or something like that.
Yeah, because that was an idea we had, man. We really wanted to put that out there. So comment. We want you to comment whether or not you would come to a live viewing or screening of Honestly Speaking, man. Like, we want to do something different. We want to do something that's innovative, but we also want people to experience what we experience when we do this. I was telling somebody the other day, they was like, man, we watched the podcast, and I was like, that's good that you watched the podcast. I was like, but I don't do it for the views. I'm like, this is therapy for me.
Yeah,
like, I need this.
If you because and that's why I tell people all the time, I tell my girl this, like I said, I enjoy talking, especially to like-minded people, because generally there's always a shift. Like, somebody can say something that can shift my whole perception.
Yeah.
It make me feel better, make me grow. You know what I'm saying? Because of the positivity that they're spewing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And that happens all the time, every time. I don't know, sometimes it'd be like, I'd be feeling kind of groggy in here, like anytime I come in here or whatever sometimes. And then sometimes where I just be like, as soon as I start talking, I just feel so much better. And I'm like, man, I know other people need that. Like, I know especially for the people that just like are quiet, more internal, what do you call them, introverts?
Yeah.
More like introverted people, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know people need that, so we definitely gonna put some things together, man, for like a live showing for Honestly Speaking, man. And Honestly Speaking is we actually making some big deal moves, man, to try and really maximize. I know one thing that I was saying was just like we wanna be about what we talk about. So
Right.
we're gonna have some things coming, and God willing, we will grow, and we will grow in a way that's very productive, and very
To what God has for us.
yeah, you know what I'm saying,
Not
very
to our standards.
inspirational and motivational. And y'all continue, man. Please pray for us too, man, that we can accomplish what God's actually what God's will is. I mean, I can't put it no other way, because I don't want this to happen the way we think it should, like, because really it's gonna be too small minded. Even if it is big, you know what I'm saying, it's not gonna be. It can never be as big as God wants it to be. So, yeah, y'all keep praying for us, man. And light is the message light. That's hilarious.
Man. This has been another episode, man.
Yeah.
We love y'all. We praying for you. And we're gonna wrap it like that. We see you guys next week. We'll probably be getting that guest show happening, or we most likely will have our own guest. Either way, we're gonna be interacting with you guys. So stay tuned. We love y'all, man. It's been another episode of Honestly Speaking. We out. That's a word right there.
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to follow us on Instagram, that's Honestly Speaking Pod _ on Instagram. And if you can catch us on YouTube, you want to go to impactthebay on YouTube, man. You can catch us there Friday, 12 p.m. Me and my brother, M&E. We here. We out, baby. Get it.